Hey everybody, how are you doing? Furo here, bringing you more Shadowverse content today. As usual, the following content is sponsored by Cygames, so if you like what you see, give the game a try. It's free to play and you can find download links in the description below this video. The game is available on Steam, Android and iOS, so play the game on the platform you prefer the most. Today we are looking at a Tempo FORESTCRAFT deck. This one was not created by myself, but instead was used at the NGE North American Open Week 8 tournament by XG Omega. He was able to take down the second spot at the event, so I thought it should be a worthy contender to show you today. The core of more or less any FORESTCRAFT deck is the Rhinoceroach, which is this little follower here, and the reason why one-turn kill decks are still easily possible in today's environment for the class. For every other card that you have played in a turn, the Rhino is getting an additional 1 attack. A quick look at the second effect also shows you the Storm ability, so the face is your best friend with this one. FORESTCRAFT as a class has the ability to get back units into your hand with cards like the Nature's Guidance or the Ancient Elf. Playing multiple roaches in one turn is therefore a very viable option to deal a lot of damage in a short period of time. This is especially true when you consider that the amount of play points needed to play multiple Rhinos per turn is relatively small. It is, for example, without a problem possible to play Rhino 3 times in one turn, while also dropping 2 fairies and play Nature's Guidance twice for a total of over 15 damage. To achieve such a high amount of damage outburst, it is totally necessary to create a large amount of small cards into your hand, so naturally you're running a bunch of fairy and card creation tools alongside the Rhino. This one-turn kill package is the core for most FORESTCRAFT decks. You might even call it the identity for the whole class. To have some alternative win and damage dealing opportunities, most of the tempo decks nowadays are also running between 2 and 3 jungle wardens. Up until turn 10 he is just a nice little ward unit that will save your ass a lot, but with the enhanced version at 10 play points, this one is good for another extra 8 damage into the face. In general, this will either finish the game for you or you are setting up lethal for Rhino the turn after. If you are running into trouble, Crystalia Aerin and the Elf Queen both providing nice healing potential. Interesting enough, both units are from the Tempest of the God expansion, so the developers were apparently pretty much aware of the fact that Tempo FORESTCRAFT needed a bit more air to breathe in the endgame. All in all, the deck provides a very solid package for every matchup on the ladder, especially with the latest balance patch you will have a better time than before. Let's now play a bit on the ladder, currently at AA1. If you have questions or feedback, please don't be shy and use the comment section below, that is really much appreciated. Also, a like or subscription to the channel is always helping myself, so consider to do that if you enjoy the content that I'm providing. And now on to some gameplay. Let's cross our finger that we are not missing out on some lethal spots with the Rhino. That is one thing that is happening from time to time, so be careful guys. And here we go, it is FORESTCRAFT versus Heavencraft. First game, Heavencraft is normally going a bit slower, so we should have a good time. Dropping everything before the start, we're definitely looking forward to get something else. Yeah, the Sylvan Justice, which is useful against many classes, but not so against Heavencraft. Normally Heavencraft is not dropping anything besides some amulets early on, so if there is no target for the Sylvan Justice, you can also not play it. Also the Rhino is not coming into play on turn 2 because you want to play that later. So there is not much we can do right now. Elven Princess Mage and also the Fortunehunter Feena are a bit too far away. So the start is not optimal in this matchup. We want to go aggressive here. There's an Ancient Elf. Oh man. So if we just drop the Rhino here, we could push 1 damage and then play the Ancient Elf on the next turn. Problem is normally that he's maybe just banishing the Rhino or killing it otherwise. So we cannot just go for the Rhino here. We are missing out on the damage that's coming later. We're still playing the Ancient Elf on the next turn because that's the only card we can play right now. But definitely not the optimal way to start the game. Starting with a Prison Priestess, which is giving him a random countdown amulet into his hand. And again, there is not much to do. We can now apply the Sylvan Justice, to be honest. And then keeping the Ancient Elf a bit longer, because otherwise it's just a 2-3, so not very strong. Sylvan Justice killing the unit. We're getting a fairy and we can directly play the fairy here if we like. And also just wait a bit, but if we are going, for example, for the Ancient Elf next turn, which is a potential, then we want to have a fairy right now on the board. With the Elven Princess here, we're getting 2 fairies into our hand. That's costing them 0, so that's pretty good if you're looking for a huge combo with the Rhino. Another Prison Priestess, so he's getting another countdown amulet into his hand. There's a Sacred. And The Nature's Guidance, interesting. So we can evolve now, we're just going for the Elven Princess. Killing his unit, and one in the face then. And you will not play the fairies right now. You will wait for that until you are playing the Rhino, or until you have too many cards in the hand. Right now we have 8 cards in the hand, so that's definitely not bad. And if we play the fairies, for example, for free, we can play the Rhino at the same turn. And we had 5 next turn, so we can play double fairies, we can play Nature's Guidance and another Rhino for a total of 5 play points. Which would be already a lot of damage if you consider that. So that's the thing that we might just do here. Yeah, I like that, to be honest, so let's just do it. So that's one fairy, that's another fairy. Rhino is coming for 2 here. So pushing right now just 3 damage. We will use the Nature's Guidance, which is giving us a Rhino back into the hand. Plus we are drawing an extra card, a fairy circle. And then the next Rhino is coming. Plus we are evolving the Rhino, so he's pushing 7 damage into our opponent's face. Plus he is a 3 life unit now. So down to 9. And he's right now only has a Sacred on the board, so nothing too dangerous. He might just play a Decree here, he's at 6 play points. We will wait and see. With 7 cards currently, there's a high chance that he has a Decree. If there is no Decree, that might be a bit of a problem for him. Even if he's dropping, let's see, a Priest, for example, banishing the Rhino, there will still be 2 fairies on the board. Oh, Frog Cleric, okay, he's restoring 3 defense to an ally, which is the leader, of course. Frog is getting evolved. He's killing the Rhino. We are still pushing either 3 or 2 damage next turn. Goblin Mage, Goblin Mage. I would say we're killing the Frog. Then going for the face for 2. Then we are dropping the Ancient Elf, which is buffed twice. Getting the fairies back into our hand, and we are also dropping the Goblin Mage to get another unit with 2 or less play points into our hand, which is another Rhino. Good for us, so very nice. And there is a Decree, so he's killing both units. And just another Sacred, which is the last one. So Decree was helping him here, but we still have 1 Rhino in the hand. He's still down to 10. Can we do that right now? Can do a lot of damage here, but I'm not sure if we have enough to just kill him directly. So we're dropping double fairies, that's 2 units. We can play a circle here, that is 3. Cannot get the Rhino right now back, so that's a real problem. But we also have a Goblin Mage here. Yeah, let's just check out what the Goblin Mage is giving us. Here we get another Rhino. No, just the Elf Child May, unfortunately. Okay, then still, let's drop some shit here. We're going for the circle, we're getting 2 more fairies into our hand. We are then dropping the Rhino, which is right now pushing 4 if we evolve. That is then another 6, so he's down to 4, and we are not missing too much. Especially when you consider that he needs to clear the board here, otherwise he is probably just going down. So another Decree would be helpful for him. Otherwise, if he's just dropping some units, we have some good cards to clear those units. And he would only, if he's dropping a unit, he would probably just kill 2 units, and we still then have an elf, a fairy here on the board. He still has 1 evolution point, so there is a possibility to kill everything. Healing Prayer. Oh, if he's playing Healing Prayer, might be that he's playing with the Seraph. That is subtracting 1 from an Amulet, so normally that's when you play a Seraph. But he's getting some life back, so he's now at 7. This is the Initiate, yeah, he's playing Seraph for sure. But because he's using his subtraction card right now, that's of course then missing out later. 9 cards now, 2 play points to go. He's evolving Sister Initiate, killing the Rhino then. We are still right now pushing 3 damage, so he would be again down to 4. Maybe we can find the last Rhino as well. Just the Fortunehunter. So let's see if we drop Crystalia Aerin. Could also push 4, we are getting an extra evolution point. But I would say right now we can just keep that. We're just dropping the Elf Child May. Clearing the unit here, we are pushing 3 into his face. And just to have a stronger board, we might just... Oh, I've lost really. Okay, so we're winning this one. Otherwise I would have played Fortunehunter Feena, have a stronger board. Then he needed a Decree, but we were still pushing damage on the board. Stuff like that. So winning the first one. Our next opponent is using a Bloodcraft deck, so you can expect that he's playing super aggressive. We have Nature's Guidance here and we have a Rhino, but that's a nice combination, not for the start, so, and especially if he's playing aggressive, so we're just dropping those two. We are keeping the Sylvan Justice, so we are going second. Opponent's probably just dropping and ambling on the first turn, so you can then just kill it, or we are killing the Blood Wolf that is coming on the second turn. One of those, and Grimnir and Elf Princess Mage. Nice curve, would also be nice to have something to play on the first turn. So, for example, Elf Child, he's not dropping anything. And we're getting Will of the Forest and Dance of Death. Okay, it should work out, I mean, it's a decent curve. And if our opponent is dropping Belphegor, for example, to just push him down to 10 life, we have an easy task with the combo, because that is easily pushing 10 in the face. So the Sylvan Justice clearing the Blood Wolf, which means that he was only good for 2 points of damage, and because the Blood Wolf is also dealing 2 points of damage in your opponent's face, that was not really worth it. There's another one. So another 2 in the face, we are down to 16, our opponent is down to 16. What we are doing is just dropping the Grimnir here, which is good enough against the Blood Wolf. Plus we can then on the next turn already evolve, so the Elven Princess is coming, which is giving us 2 fairies that we can play for free. Hungering Horde. Ah, how dare you. Grimnir going down. And yeah, double Crystalia Aerin, that's really good. So you can restore 3 defense, and enhanced you also get an evolution point back, which might be very useful later. So Blood Wolf going down, we are getting the fairies into our hand. And with so many cards in the hand, card for example like the Will of the Forest here, which is dealing 1 damage per card in your hand, is very powerful now. Dark Air Gemma. And he's getting the Galado Devil of Love. Luckily the Will of the Forest is not a targetable spell. Well, let's see what he's doing. You're probably going for the Will of the Forest here. Oh, he's evolving this one. Could have evolved the Dark Air Gemma. Interesting. So there's only 1 unit now on the board. So we might just play... yeah, we might just play the Dance then. Will of the Forest is just more powerful than the Dance at the moment. So going for the Dance, we are dealing 2 damage in his face. He is not caring too much for the damage right now. He's looking for the Vengeance anyway, going into that. Blood Wolf, all 3 already. That's a lot, man. Are you playing something else? No, he's not. What a shame. But the Ancient Elf. Ancient Elf is interesting. We just need to be careful that we're not dropping too much here. So we can get the fairies for free. And we can play the Ancient Elf. And after that, probably then the Goblin Mage. If we play the Goblin Mage first, we are getting an extra card. And then we have too many cards in the hand. So let's just drop the Ancient Elf now. Which is getting buffed twice. We're getting the fairies back. And we are dropping the Goblin Mage here, getting another card. Hopefully that's a Rhino. It is a Rhino, so great success. We're evolving the Ancient Elf. Keep in mind that in 2 turns we can just get some evolution points back. The Wolf is going down. And right now we have already 7 damage here on the board. So the Rhino would provide us with more damage that can directly hit the face. So our opponent needs to be careful. He's dropping the Baphomet, which is only a 2-1. He's getting 5 plane point or higher follower into his hand, is that right? With at least 5 attack, yeah, right. And he was enhancing, so that is subtracting 3 from its cost. There is a potential that he can directly play it. Yeah, this is Soul Dealer, which is might be pretty painful for him. He's down to 6, so he needs to kill the Ancient Elf, and he could just do so. Oh, that's not... It's only a 4 attack unit. Do you have 1 extra point? So he needs 1 more point. Yeah, the Oblique Drain. Okay, that makes sense. So this one's going down. He's back to 8. Can we still kill him here? Can we still kill him? The Rhino, we can play 1, 2, 3 other cards before, plus the Glimmering Wings. Ah, we're missing a bit here. Unfortunately, we're missing a bit. Not too much, but a bit. So how about just go for the Fortunehunter Feena, the last evolution point. Gives us a free Goblin Mage. And then we might find a second Rhino and then kill him next turn. Yeah, go for it. I mean, in the worst case, we're just going for the Crystalia. So there's a Goblin Mage. This one is coming for free. That's just the Elf Child. If we play Glimmering, that is too expensive. And so it's not too expensive. We have too many cards in hand. So how about we are just dropping one fairy and keep the rest. He's down to 6. We have 5 damage on the board. We can just drop the Crystalia, get another evolution point. Hungering Horde. Ah, damn you. So with the Crystalia we could have gotten the evolution point and then we could have killed him. Now he's at 8, so he should be out of range. Ooh, Fairy Circle. That good enough. Cannot evolve here, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, 5 cards. And now we are missing. We're missing a bit here, right? Yeah, missing a bit. So let's just drop the Crystalia then. Also healing us, and we get the evolution point. And then with the evolution point, we can kill him next turn. He's running low on cards here, only 3 cards left. That's not looking too good. We could also just play another Crystalia, getting an even more evolution point here. Ooh, Maelstrom Serpent. Yeah, that would be tough. But he's down to 8, so we don't care. We can just drop 1 fairy, 2 fairies. We can even play the Fairy Circle here if we want to. Then drop more fairies on the board, and then the Rhino is coming. And the Rhino is just a lot of damage. So he's going down. And we're winning a second game. Could have, by the way, also buffed that to 8, of course, but there was no need to do that. Losing anyway.